million. It's a 7-day show that provides a platform for sharing trade and market information, and I already said, enabling buyers and sellers, as well as investors, and linking investors to opportunities such that deals can be concluded and such that intra-African trade can grow. It will also feature World Trade, a world-class trade and investment forum, and a platform to showcase Africa's creative talent, as already mentioned. So I'm going to therefore call on you all, to please register and participate. We also call on the governments, the organized private sector, to provide support in terms of mobilizing the business community, including SMEs, to take advantage of all that the IATF has to offer. As I conclude, let me reiterate that as Afrexim Bank, we stand firm in our commitment to support intra-African trade and investment. And in so doing, we are ready to build on the 3.3 billion support we're already providing to businesses in Côte d'Ivoire. We remain committed to ensuring that there are adequate resources, both financial and non-financial, in place to not only adapt to a world of continued turbulence, but also to thrive in a new business environment created by the AFCFTA. I invite you all to join us at IATF 2023 as sponsors, exhibitors, as we look together to realize the vision of an integrated and prosperous Africa. I'm very optimistic that Côte d'Ivoire will be strongly represented. And we look forward to seeing you in November. But please, don't miss this opportunity. As the trade fair is here and now in Côte d'Ivoire, I'd like to end by saying that the ball is in your court. Thank you very much.
Merci. Thank you to the Afrexim Bank VB for this brilliant presentation.
The records. Okay. So, thank you so much. C'était la présentation.
That was the Afrexim Bank VP, Mrs. Kadeo Awani. Thanks a bunch. Following the closing remarks, okay, we are going to kick off the activation with our partner of RIGS exhibition. I want to make sure that we can make it happen. So please now welcome His Excellency Mr. Diarasuba, Ministry for Trade, Industry and SMEs for his closing remarks.
Bien, merci.
Thank you. I believe that all has been said as part of this tight working day. Your Excellency, Mr. Benito Orama, Afrexim Bank Chairperson, Honorable Vice Chairperson for Afrexim Bank, Honorable Vice President, filling in for the Chairperson of the Chamber of Industry and Trade for Côte d'Ivoire, Honorable Chairperson of the Ivorian Employer Association, Honorable members of the Technical Committee for IATF, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observes. May I state that I am pleasingly taking the floor at the close of the day at this closing ceremony for the roadshow featuring the formal kickoff for the third edition of the IATF IATF that we hold from 21 to 23rd November 2023. May I thank, as I did this morning, the Honorable President Olusegun Obasanjo and all the people who accepted that the second meeting of the advisory council to hold in Abidjan. We would like also to hail the prominent figures who travel all the way from their countries to also impute this very day. We would like also to hail the entire technical teams for Afrixem banks and also the Ivorian private and public sectors, and also AFCFTA and stakeholders who are playing their parts in the events that we are preparing based on the statement of African Bank and VP. We would like to thank you that the meeting with the private sector and we can take ownership of this for this event to be a success in Cote d'Ivoire and for Africa. Now, may I recall that based on the AFDB and estimates, which is 16%, this is a concern to our country and African intra-trade. This is an opportunity for wealth creation and job creation and also fighting inequalities. As you do know, for a couple of years, the projects in the continent helped in putting in place since the first day of January 2021 to ensure geographic continuity to serve as a great growth driver, which is going to convene over 3 billion people, and with let's say combined sales of 3,600 US dollars, and this has been at the core of discussions during the 36th head of states summit that was held in Addis Ababa last year. May I seize this opportunity to pay tribute to African leaders with this vision of an integrated, prosperous, and peaceful continent able to account for a strong and dynamic force in the international and scene. So this is an initiative that will promote the socio-economic potential of Africa, speed up, let's say, an economic growth in Africa based on the single African market called Common Market. Following the first edition that was hosted in Cairo, Egypt, and the second one in Durban, South Africa in 2021, Côte d'Ivoire will be hosting this year from the 21st to the 23rd of November 2023, the third edition at the Abidjan Park Exhibition Center, connecting an African market. This third edition is posturing itself as the most important commercial event for Africa, and this is a single platform for our companies to gain access to an integrated market, showing in technology to make structural changes and to showcase quality product and to start engaging with business on the, let's say, B2B the basis, create joint ventures, and also set up mutually beneficial projects. It's like the African Champions League for Trade and Investment and Trade, which is going to hold in Côte d'Ivoire in November. And I wish that local population may come in the number. This ceremony is the starting point for the official kickoff of IATF 2023 in terms of mobilizing the stakeholders in Côte d'Ivoire. The topic for this day is to promote trade and investment with Africa as part of AFCFTA is quite relevant. This topic is a wake-up call to Cote d'Ivoire and to African country by expanding access to the market. We need to work also to take up challenges, that is a poor complementarity of regional trade and low mobilization of investment flows. Cote d'Ivoire, under the leadership of His Excellency President Alassane Ouattara, President of the Republic, has been putting in place since 2011 economic and social and reforms to improve the business climate in Cote d'Ivoire, which has been enshrined in the various national development plan, that is transforming the Ivorian economy with greater integration of Cote d'Ivoire into regional and global value chains. The statistical data on trade and also in foreign direct investment shows that we have room for maneuver to improve, let's say, an IDA or IDI, and being ranked among the leading country. We show, let's say, 24% when it comes to intra-Africa trade, and also within ECOWAS and 14.9% in terms of traded goods, which are agricultural commodities and manufactured products imported into the sub-region or exported. And Cote d'Ivoire is a supplier of cocoa, coffee, plantain, cotton, palm nut, cashew nut, but which mostly is unprocessed. I can say that Cote d'Ivoire has made huge reform to improve the business climate, which fostered the attraction of foreign investment towards Africa from 2016 to 2020. In 2020, and foreign direct investment in Cote d'Ivoire, estimated in US dollar, it got $1.4 billion in 2019 for 2021, and this is estimated to be 2 billion US dollar, which is an increase of 25% based on the statistic of foreign trade. The level of trade of Cote d'Ivoire is standing at 32 billion US dollar against 26 billion dollar in 2022, showing that we are on the positive momentum by 25% with foreign nations. Such statistical data do confirm the willingness of Cote d'Ivoire to attract more African flows. We have also new sectors, as was recalled in the 2021-2025 National Development Plan (NDP), and especially agro-industry, agribusiness, and also construct building materials, and also the clothing industry, and also the car industry, and the packaging and sector. We also have digital economy, tourism, the hotel industry, and also the creative industry. The implementation of AFCFTA will be a major game changer for Cote d'Ivoire, so far as it will enable us to mitigate many constraints among African, and also to encourage companies to lay hold of opportunity offered by AFCFTA. This is a genuine driver to spur and trade, and also African direct investment, and that is why we are expecting strong actions to let's say remove trade barriers, and also shipping cost and also transportation cost by the development of road facilities, and also the implementation of railways system, and also the payment of services without taking into account local currencies. And therefore, we have to discuss with the private sector to take a number of actions to incentivize African nations to, let's say, invest into, let's say, growth-driven sectors at the sub-regional to promote the Africa destination to attract national, regional, and global investors. In concluding, I would like to send out a wake-up call to the private sector and to SMEs, to business people and the African exhibitors to be in attendance in Abidjan at that period. And to is between business people for greater, let's say, vibrancy of intercontinental trade. May I also indicate to private sector people, because this is the driver of growth in Cote d'Ivoire and this is the main business partner of Cote d'Ivoire. All such initiatives are for the private sectors. All these huge investments are, and we spoke about the exhibition park, these roads, the investment in energy is to enable our economy to be competitive and to be more performing, for the Ivorian private sector to be stable and be competitive in terms of AFCFTA and challenges. I would like to reiterate that by asking the private sector to get further involved into the process regarding AFCFTA penetration, and this is a reality. This is not wishful thinking, and we are cooperating. We are working in task forces on the rules of origin and also special also standard, just to say that a momentum has been created. We have to become involved for us to be a strong stakeholder regarding the entire implementation process, in order for us not to be taken unawares in the future. Should we not take initiative, other countries' commodities will invade us. We need to keep on densifying our a business fabric in order for us not to be on the sideline. The process is on, and the theme of the year is to speed up the implementation of AFCFTA. And to me, this is a good rostrum to voice out this opinion, because it is going to be an instrument which is going to transform Africa, who is going to transform Cote d'Ivoire and create opportunity in terms of youth employment and value creation. This is a reality, and the process is underway. Second wake-up call. This has to do with the efforts made by all initiative through the president, the chairperson of the Chamber of Trade and Industry, and the private sector stakeholders, and also SMEs, and also the handicraft sector. AFCFTA is born by Cote d'Ivoire, by President Alassane Ouattara. He spoke about that at the last day of, during his speech to the nation, and in last day of December. And the commitment is wholesome, because the private sector, the Ivorian private sector, has to be visible, and so it is relevant that the issue, and this is a call I am making, should be, let's say, enshrined and embedded in every formal statement and speeches, so that we understand that it is a national movement, which is a flagship event in terms of business in Africa, in Cote d'Ivoire, and be a success story, and alongside the Ivorian government. And I know that I do rely on you. Based on these hopeful wishes, concluding and declare on behalf of the Consultative Advisory Council and all the involved entities, the African Union, Afrexim Bank, and the SG for AFCFTA and every stakeholder in the roadshow, and that this roadshow is, this high-level roadshow is close, featuring the official kickoff of this event. Long live African Union, long live AFCFTA, long live Côte d'Ivoire. I thank you for your undivided attention.
Merci infiniment, Monsieur le ministre.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. In principle, we should keep this speech for the record. I do think that the call for the private sector was not written. It would have been nice, and we will have to transcribe this for wide dissemination. We are going to take a group photograph with the VP, and the protocol officer is going to help us to snapshot this group family, and we are going to do the activation of IATF 2023 before the Honorable Minister takes leave of us.
Des pavillons et des stands d'exposition qui leur permettront de personnaliser leur expérience d'exposition pour répondre à leurs exigences uniques. La conférence IATF 2023 accueillera des intervenants africains et internationaux de renom et proposera une série de sessions consacrées au commerce et à l'investissement en Afrique. Rencontres inter-entreprises et entre entreprises et gouvernements. Il s'agira d'occasions de jumelage, d'échanges commerciaux et de concrétisation d'accords commerciaux et d'investissement. Ceci est soutenu par un programme dédié aux acheteurs africains. Le segment de la journée des pays, qui est ouvert aux possibilités de parrainage de 3 pays, offrira une plateforme à 3 pays sélectionnés pour présenter leurs possibilités en matière de commerce, d'investissement, de tourisme et de culture. L'IATF virtuel présentera des biens, des services et des opportunités d'investissement.
Alors, on a gardé une dame à l'extrémité encore.
Le sommet Canex et le programme de représentation
Non, très bien, ok.
du continent et de la diaspora afin de présenter, d'exposer et d'établir des réseaux. Le salon de l'automobile en Afrique abritera une exposition automobile, un forum automobile et des rencontres B2B et B2G consacrées à l'industrie automobile. Le programme de l'UA pour Startup des jeunes disposera d'un pavillon dédié aux startups des jeunes en Afrique pour leur permettre de présenter leurs produits et services. IATF 2023 fournira une plateforme unique et précieuse aux entreprises pour accéder à un marché africain.
C'est bon, les photos
de plus de
ou bien
1,3 milliard de personnes avec un PIB
Ok.
de plus de 3,5
10
millions de
secondes.
dollars créé dans le cadre de la zone de libre-échange
Voilà, c'est bon.
continentale africaine.
Merci beaucoup. On va vous solliciter encore une fois pour 3 minutes à l'occasion de l'activation.
We are going to call on you for 3 minutes with Papi Lozala, who is our RIDBA exhibition partner. Thank you. I can feel the weight to take the floor after the passionate speech of the Honorable Minister Suleiman Jarasuba. We will.
Alors, on a la vidéo qui est passée. Donc,
So the video has been showcased. Can we play again the video? So we just follow with the IATF steps.
Pays et plus de 35 000 participants et devrait générer jusqu'à 43 milliards de dollars US en accords commerciaux et d'investissement. IATF 2023 sera une fois de plus une exposition où les pays participants et les entreprises pourront installer des pavillons et des stands d'exposition qui leur permettront de personnaliser leur expérience d'exposition pour répondre à leurs exigences uniques. La conférence IATF 2023 accueillera des intervenants africains et internationaux de renom et proposera une série de sessions consacrées au commerce et à l'investissement en Afrique. Rencontres inter-entreprises et entre entreprises et gouvernements. Il s'agira d'occasions de jumelage, d'échanges commerciaux et de concrétisation d'accords commerciaux et d'investissement. Ceci est soutenu par un programme dédié aux acheteurs africains. Le segment de la journée des pays, qui est ouvert aux possibilités de parrainage de 3 pays, offrira une plateforme à 3 pays sélectionnés pour présenter leurs possibilités en matière de commerce, d'investissement, de tourisme et de culture. L'IATF virtuel présentera des biens, des services et des opportunités d'investissement sur une plateforme interactive en ligne. Le sommet Canex et le programme de représentation scénique rassemblent des créatifs du continent et de la diaspora afin de présenter, d'exposer et d'établir des réseaux. Le salon de l'automobile en Afrique abritera une exposition automobile, un forum automobile et des rencontres B2B et B2G consacrées à l'industrie automobile. Le programme de l'UA pour Startup des jeunes disposera d'un pavillon dédié aux startups des jeunes en Afrique pour leur permettre de présenter leurs produits et services. IATF 2023 fournira une plateforme unique et précieuse aux entreprises pour accéder à un marché africain intégré de plus de 1,3 milliard de personnes avec un PIB de plus de 3,5 trillions de dollars créé dans le cadre de la zone de libre-échange continentale africaine. La Banque africaine d'export-import, l'Union africaine, le secrétariat de la ZLECAf et le gouvernement de la République de Côte d'Ivoire vous invitent à vous joindre à nous du 21 au 27 novembre à l'IATF 2023 à Abidjan en Côte d'Ivoire. Foire commerciale intra-africaine, connecter les marchés africains. Pour obtenir plus d'informations, visitez le site web www.intraafricantradefair.com.
Merci.
Thank you. First of all, I would like to hail the Honorable Trade and Industry Ministry and the top management of Afrexim Bank, including her VP for African intra activities. I'm going to try to be concise. I am also time conscious. Normally it should be a PowerPoint presentation. As you do know, the IATF 2023 is slated for Abidjan in November 2023. A few technical glitch. IATF 2023 is an Afrexim Bank initiative together with the AU and the AFCFTA. The multi-sectoral event focusing on the recognition of opportunities for cross-border trade and connecting African markets, and the goals of the exhibition. I'm going to read the first and the last, and convening and global and continental partners to identify, and the second goal is and the last goal on the list is to share information on Afrexim Bank initiative and a facilitation of trade. The last IFTA 2021 was held in South Africa. We yielded positive results, so much so that we got over 1,500 exhibitors. And we had a turnout of 32,000 visitors from 69 countries. We, let's say, brokered 42 billion US dollars on deal. And we want to exceed these figures. And we estimate that we will have more than 1,600 exhibitors and over 35,000 visitors. and the exhibitors will originate from 75 countries. And during IATF 2025, we are going to clinch 43 billion US dollar deals. And this has been honored by 7 heads of state and president, as you can see on this snapshot. IATF 2023 include 8 key components. Let's say business exhibition and creating Africa Nexus and B2B sessions and the BOG and virtual IATF country days, and we also have a young startup and day. The IATF will include some tasks, also online meeting and on-site meeting, and also B2B and B2G, and also pre-planned an appointment. The Forum on Trade and Investment, the agenda of this conference, IATF 2023, will be focused on connecting African markets. The Creative Africa Nexus is, let's say, a live theater and drama program from diaspora to showcase and network with policymakers, financiers, opinion leaders, and other sector, the creative sector practitioners with trademarks and performing artistic performers, and is going to be the largest event that has been organized in the African continent. The let's say IATF UA agenda for young startup is to maintain the future of trade in Africa. As was told by the various speakers before me, IATF 2023 will have also a car show in Africa, and followed by an exhibition dedicated to the car industry in Côte d'Ivoire. Let's say also a B2B and B2G and exhibition. As you know, we have a tradition of industrialization of the continents, and by the automobile industry. I'm going to skip all this, so please register as from now on the IATF website, www.intraafricatrade.com, or we have a presence on Facebook and Twitter. Thank you for your attention, and I wish you let's say a good night. Africa and Abidjan will be hosting IATF. Thank you, Papi. You made our day. This is kicked off. Thank you, Honorable Minister. Thank you to Afrexim top management, and thank you for having been with us up to now. See you shortly.
Is it selling up in Munyanke? Na kenji senyo lo now. Bimamu ni a jango. Na di so me leboko. Longa lente Munyanke. Papo me yana nyolanjena. Mutaka mutizivu na. Lo mende no jabwa mob. Kanto pip tiko pap tiko pip. Pap to give tiko pala tiko. Kanto give tiko pap tiko kana. Pip tinga tiko pap tinde. Kanto give tiko pap tiko give. Panka kanta pala tiko. ping pum parting king pound Atelemba mateke na nyodi na diva matonkombale timbala monateko di somele boko longelende munyenge wapome yande nyolanjena mutaka mutiti polo lo mende no jaba mpudo parli pap ende ai kane ai lelo esele sonika jan